Thank you for joining the Author Spotlight Show. My name is Gail Watson, President and CEO of Women Speakers Association. As part of running a global community of women in 120 countries, it is my privilege that I connect and have conversations with women from around the world doing amazing work. It's an important time for women to step into finding and owning their voice, and it's even more exciting when we see her put those words down on paper into a book so it's easily shared. Today, I'd like to introduce you to our featured author. She is co author in Voices of the 21st Century, a woman you need to know. Meet best selling author Mary Knippel. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm really excited to be able to share about this book and the mission of the Women Speakers Association. Absolutely.
Oh, thank you. You are amazing. And what I really love that you share in this book is you bring to life a story that I think many people can relate to because it's all around that that famous bit of where we are helping others, but really only to forget ourselves in that whole process that we have to love ourselves too. So please share with us what inspired you to, share your story.
Oh, absolutely. I wanted to be part of this whole project because I identify with the mission of the organization, and as well as the focus of the book is to empower women and women's voices, because they're so often we feel invisible, that our story doesn't matter. And that's why I entitled my chapter A Heroine Story, because we don't see that as important it is to be the heroine in our own story, that we are the heroine in so many people's lives. And when we focus on our gifts and share them with the world, that it's just like throwing the pebble in the pond, the ripples go out and out and out and out. And to know that what you're doing matters, and that you matter.
You make it sound so easy to get out there and share your story, but we know it takes tremendous courage, guts to do so.
it's it's synchronicity that you would say guts. I'll read a little bit from my chapter, and my title is A Heroine Story. Uh, Wondering if you have ever encountered a heroine? I'm sure you have. May have been saintly like Mother Teresa, a rebel like George Sand, someone you loved who died too young, someone you admire for her guts, someone who challenges you to be your authentic self, or someone you only have a sense of and have yet to meet. For the location and the description of the closest heroine, I direct you to look in the mirror.
Wow, powerful. Again, very simple to just simply go look in the mirror. So what you're saying, it's in all of us.
It absolutely. We are a heroine for ourselves, and we are a heroine for everyone that we encounter.
Okay, so Mary, when someone's reading your book, what do you really want them to take away from it?
I sincerely, passionately, vehemently want them to know that their story matters, that they have something unique about them that nobody else has. And when they stay silent, the person and persons that they are supposed to impact with their life won't have the life that they are destined to have, because we stayed silent. We stayed small because we were afraid of stepping into our greatness and living the life that we are designed to have. And that brings tears to my eyes. And when I'm working with somebody, it can bring tears to their eyes as well, when they know, when they really feel the story that's been laid on their heart that they have been afraid to share. And that's when I use my 35 years as a journalist to ask them the questions, to get them to go deeper, to feel confident and and know that they are safe enough to share that story, because they will feel seen and heard and know that their story matters and that they matter.
You have such a beautiful heart, and you have a journalism background, and but you really feel like, I can't imagine the years when you say 35 years as a journalist, the amount of feeling that has gone through your body receiving stories.
Absolutely. And what I want the women who are listening to this and reading our book is that they are all gifted with that same intuition. They can get in touch with their stories, and all they have all they have to do. It sounds like, oh yeah, there's some magic formula, but it's not. And we all have the skill, because I'm going to tell you that when you pick up a pen and you start writing in a journal 5-15 minutes a day, you get your downloads. You get in touch with that conversation that you want to have with yourself, and to know who you are and what kind of an impact you are designed to have. And sometimes it turns into, oh, well, how am I going to handle this, and I can't seem to figure my way out of this. But when you keep showing up on the page on a consistent basis, you get answers. You get those intuition hits that, I don't know where this came from, but boy, is this making a difference. Because we all have that knowing about who we are and what we're designed to do in this world.
Oh my goodness. I love everything you're saying. And I love what you do. Now, you have a website called yourwritingmentor.com. This is what you do.
This is
And
what
you
I
can
do.
absolutely feel that you are driven by passion and the mission to help others get their message out. So tell us a little bit more about what you do.
I'm also the book mentor, because I help entrepreneurs who know that there's a book swirling around in their head, and they just can't seem to get things out of their head and onto the page. And so I hold their hand, and we have conversations where they I draw the story out of them, the thing that they think is pretty ordinary, that, well, how is that going to be anything of value to anybody else? Because so often we think, well, I don't have a story, and who would care if I brought it out? And that's when I love to remind them about Maya Angelou, who would pick up the yellow legal pad and say, oh dear, they're going to find out now. They're going to know that I can't write. They're going to see it, because these words are not coming. But she picks up her pen and she writes. And little by little, those words on a page turned into a book, a poem, and she's Maya Angelou. So we're in good company when we have that doubt, but we keep going. We pick up the pen and we keep writing. And that's when the magic happens. That's when you see and hear and feel that your story matters. And you are the only one that can tell it from your perspective, because it's your life and you have lived it. You know the impact that it had on you, and you know the life lesson that you learned from what happened to you, the wisdom that came after the, the diagnosis of a major illness, the wisdom that came after you had to pick up the pieces of a broken relationship, the wisdom that came after, oh, no job, what do we do now? And that's the beauty of what I get to witness and be the mirror for the people who say, I don't have a story. Yes, you do. And I'm here to help you find it.
Mary, we see the emotion in you, and I can't help but ask, like, where does that come from? Where is it really coming from?
Because I'm so passionate, because I know that critic, that inner critic, and also the outside world that said, I've written in a journal since I was 11, so I know the power of the pen. and I wanted to be a writer. But I'm a small town farming girl. And so if you weren't going to be a teacher or a doctor who needed a college degree, that just, and being a writer, that wasn't realistic. I was never a outstanding student. And basically, I was known as Shy, Quiet Mary. So the fact that I am going out there and seeking people and starting the conversation by asking these questions and having people go, whoa, nobody's ever asked me that before, or I never talked about that before. And to know that I did that's my mission, is me being a heroine in my story and being the heroine in somebody else's story, that I can be that mirror and help you see how brilliant you are. So I had to rewrite my story so that I could get my college degree and I could step into being a writer, an author, a speaker, and someone who mentors the reluctant writers of the world.
Nothing more beautiful to me than seeing someone who has found their voice, but not only found it, owning it. And you have truly owned it. And I want to thank you for also sharing it, sharing your gift. It takes courage
Mm-hmm.
and takes guts, as we talked about and as you wrote about, to do this. And and I'm glad that you have put your passion and mission into a place where you can truly support and help others do that. It's so important, especially as as you were speaking there. I was just reflecting on this past year, and and how many people got lost, fell up, fell away from their mission, their purpose. Maybe it was taken away from them, but they were faced with uphill battles that just shut them down.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it's so important right now, uh, to let people know that they're not alone and that their voice, their message is still there, still matters, and still needs to come out, probably more than ever. And when I think about, what I wanted to ask you is, where can we get a copy of your book to learn your story? But as I think about that further, I'm just going, I mean, while your story would be great for an individual listening right now, that going, yes, I want to, you know, find out who the heroine is in my life. Um, but also because we're witness and we're part of so many other people's lives that have been lost. I can't think that names that are coming to you right now, if you're listening to the names that are coming to you right now, is that this would be a beautiful gift to give somebody, to let them know that you see them, that they matter, that their voice matters still. And if
Yes.
they're feeling a little bit lost, that this might just simply touch them and say, no, you're not alone. So Mary, where can we get a copy of this most beautiful story that you share?
Please send me an email to Mary at yourwritingmentor.com, yourwritingmentor.com, and put voices in the subject line. And I'd be thrilled to send you a copy and share my story as well as all of our co-authors who are all lifting you up and empowering you with our words and sharing the message that you matter and your story matters.
You're so beautiful. I love it. So if we email you directly, will you give us a little bit of a personalized autograph in there?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, good. You are just so full of love and it just oozes out. I hope everybody can feel this right now because I'm certainly feeling it. And this has been quite moving, of a conversation personally. I, I just can't thank you enough. I can't thank you
Oh,
enough for being part
thank
of
you.
this.
So honored to be part of this project. It's more than a project. it's another wave to send our voices out into the world and
Yes,
achieve our mission of making a difference with who we are and the gifts that we have.
absolutely. So you're so full of love. Please leave us with your final words of wisdom or maybe your final words of love.
Yes, I do love everyone. I love being able to nurture that inner writer that thinks, "Ah, I don't have a story and who would care?" I promise you, I care, and there's somebody out there that cares deeply and needs to hear your story.
And needs to hear your story. You're absolutely right. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, sharing your passion, opening your heart.
Hmm.
So awesome. Okay. So if you've enjoyed Mary Knippel and you want to contact her, please do. You can see she's an open book and she wants to help you write yours, get you started in getting your thoughts down on paper. So yourwritingmentor.com. Go check her out and uh, definitely think about getting a copy of that book, not only for yourself, but sharing it with others. Getting one as it's a very simple, easy gift to give another human being. We've all had a tough go, and we're starting to see the fallout of that tough go. I can't think that this wouldn't be just the most amazing little I see you. You're going to be okay kind of thing. So, thanks again, Mary. And
Thank
thanks
you.
again to our listeners for joining us wherever you are in this world. We wish you a great day and we will talk with you again soon. Thanks for joining us.